Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
You could be driving.
Honda has won more U.S. News and World Report awards than any other brand in the last decade. And now you can add another one to the list, being named the best car brand of 2022. Come get your Honda today at Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda on Siega Lane.
Visit Treads & Care Tire Company's new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for over 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair and top-notch customer service.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
As we start today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show, here's hoping all is well with you and yours and your little slice of heaven since the last opportunity we had to spend some time with you and yours. We start today's show talking about a very troubling trend in South Louisiana, and I would imagine if the past is any indicator, in our nation in general. The troubling trend of individuals running from police in vehicles. We've seen over and over again a tragic end to an episode like this. And this past weekend in Baton Rouge, we saw it once again. Reading from the website of the ABC affiliate WBRZ News 2 in Baton Rouge. The Baton Rouge Police Department said Darian Rogers, 22 years of age, was trying to get away from officers in his Dodge Charger when he plowed into another driver at Scenic Highway and Fuqua around 10 o'clock Saturday night. That was roughly within an hour of the Garth Brooks concert at Tiger Stadium letting out. In a news release, police said they tried to stop Rogers after he was seen driving the wrong way on Choctaw Drive near Acadian Thruway. He refused to stop for police and, get this, reached speeds in excess of 120 miles an hour while driving against oncoming traffic moments before the crash. He hit the vehicle that was being driven by 49-year-old Cheryl Weston, who died at the scene. This was something, folks, that could so very easily have been avoided. It is as selfish an act as you will ever find. The fact of the matter is, the highways belong to the motoring public, not an individual. And to elude police, drive against oncoming traffic at speeds exceeding 120 miles an hour is insane. Not to mention the fact that an innocent woman now has lost her life. Rogers, as is typically the case with incidents like this, only suffered minor injuries. He was booked for manslaughter, flight from an officer, as you might imagine, multiple traffic violations. But here's the kicker. After driving the wrong way on the highway, eluding police, and driving in excess of 120 miles an hour and killing an innocent woman. He was then released within 24 hours on a $62,000 bond. Now, say what you will about the state of our justice system in our state and our country, but I cannot imagine what this family must be feeling after this, and I want to be careful, individual decided that the rules of the road don't apply to him, the safety of the motoring public is not his concern, and taking someone's life is just an inconvenience of something happening while trying to elude police. Judge Bo Higginbotham was contacted, and as you probably have already ascertained, didn't want to comment because it is an ongoing case. $62,000 and you're back out on the streets after running from police, driving the wrong way down the highway at speeds in excess of 120 miles an hour and killing someone. Something is seriously wrong here, y'all. That is seriously wrong. As you can probably imagine, the family, rightfully so, very upset over this development of allowing this individual to bond out, saying if the victim's last name were the same as the judge's, he'd probably still be locked up. Our sincerest condolences go out to the family because by all indications, we have lost an amazing woman. Those of you familiar with Winfield Funeral Home, and I am intimately familiar with them, they handle the arrangements for both of my now deceased parents. She was the manager there. So to lose someone that has spent the majority of her professional life serving the public during their times of bereavement in this fashion is about as sad as you can get. Whether or not this is going to be the end of this story, only time will tell. But as horrific an incident as it was, you can just about take to the bank that the media is going to be all over this one. This was something that this 22-year-old didn't have to do. Opportunity after opportunity after opportunity to pull over. Whatever the infraction was, if you're man enough to commit it, then be man enough to take your lumps. Pull over, take your ticket, take your arrest, whatever. But for God's sake, have some consideration for the rest of the motoring public. Driving the wrong way into oncoming traffic at over 120 miles an hour and kill someone. This is the sort of thing that happens when you allow individuals that pull this kind of crap in society to get out on a $62,000 bond. This is the kind of crap that happens when individuals pull stunts like this, and we go out of our way to make up all kinds of excuses why they shouldn't be held accountable. Well, you know, they had a rough childhood growing up, and well, you know, they were bullied growing up. All of this kind of excuse crap that we see over and over and over again. And now, a responsible, productive, innocent member of society has lost their life because of it. Meanwhile, in New Orleans, Marty, I guess I'm going to have to just kind of wing it. I'll go by feel because, you know, good help's hard to find. I don't know where I am on the clock, but that's all right. My gut will tell me. It was announced recently following that horrific fatal carjacking in New Orleans by a group of teenagers, thank you, sir, that the DA there has now decided that they will, in fact, be charged as adults. One of just a long litany of horrific crimes to occur here in South Louisiana. It is something, y'all, that harkens back to a line that stuck with me. I want to say it was in the first Batman movie. If I'm wrong, charge it to my head, not to my heart. But there's a line in the movie where it's noted, quote, criminals thrive on the indulgence of society. Meaning, when we make excuses for their criminal behavior, they will take that to the nth degree. When we make excuses, when we indulge criminals, they thrive on that. And the result is what we see all across Louisiana and our nation. We have 15, 16, 17-year-olds carjacking 73-year-old women and ripping their arms off their bodies when they get caught in the seatbelt trying to get away from these criminals. This is what happens when 22-year-olds drive the wrong way into oncoming traffic at speeds in excess of 120 miles an hour. Maybe you are so fortunate as to not have anyone in your family ever affected by criminal behavior like this. But if society, us, if we continue to allow this sort of things to happen, rest assured it's coming soon to someone that you love. I only hope that we have the foresight and the backbone to step up and put an end to this crap so we never have to have this conversation again. Just saying. First break of today's show. It is Tuesday. Coming back will be the second segment, and that means it's time for another rousing edition of Now That's Just Stupid. That's next when we continue today's edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing.
You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
The Mazda CX-30, named an IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus. Perfect. for the journey ahead.
Start your journey in a new Mazda CX-30. Right here at Team Mazda on Airline.
Hi, gang. Clarence Bugs here, inviting you to come by Old School Barbecue, 10655 Coursey Boulevard, where we tape the show live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 11 o'clock. Come by and feast on news, sports, current events, love of God and country, and lots of common sense, along with some of the best barbecue anywhere on the planet. 10655 Coursey Boulevard, Old School Barbecue, home of the Clarence Bugs Show.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bugs Show. If by chance you are new to the show, new to the station, new to the area, you may not be aware that in response to the ever-growing, ever-expanding, rapidly expanding, mind you, level of stupidity in our country, we've started a new segment entitled, Now That's Just Stupid. You'll notice, however, if we can pull the graphic up out in the truck, we're not talking about regular STUPID. That would be your ordinary, everyday, run-of-the-mill, garden variety stupid. What we're talking about here requires its own spelling, as in STOOPID, meaning, now that's just stupid. We start on the left coast, surprise, surprise, the state of Oregon. In 2021, the Democrat-controlled Oregon legislature and Governor Kate Brown signed into law House Bill 3294, also known as the, quote, Menstrual Dignity Act. It requires menstruation products like sanitary napkins and tampons to be made available in all public school bathrooms, including those for boys. You heard me right. As of last month, the Department of Education in the state of Oregon is requiring schools to install tampon and sanitary napkin dispensers in boys' and girls' bathrooms. The legislative website for Oregon says the following, quote, 1 in 5 menstruators in the United States cannot afford the price of menstrual products every month. Among those menstruators are the students that attend Oregon's public education institutions who may be subject to ridicule and shame from their peers because of their lack of access to sanitary products. According to a joint survey, the menstrual movement, 1 in 4 teens have missed class due to a lack of access to period products. It becomes a choice of attending class and facing stigma or simply staying home to deal with the lack of products in private space. Only in liberal land, only on the left coast, in boys' bathrooms. You know what's ironic to the level of stupid? You listen to what their legislative website says. 1 in 5 menstruators in the United States. And, of course, on 2 or 3 different occasions, they reference menstruators. Now, I will be the first to admit, y'all, it has been a while since I've been in a classroom in a formal setting. But the last time I checked, it's only women, only females that menstruate. So this foolishness about menstruators, I would say only in Oregon, but that wouldn't be true. You got California right down below them, probably will be following in the near future. You have the state of Washington, liberal land, which is chock full of liberals and progressives and all the rest of these clowns. So don't be too surprised if you look up and your male child is wondering, why are they putting this in our bathroom? Well, simple explanation. That's just stupid. Secondly, I think most people watching right now understand, even if they weren't taught, that if you have an idea about a product, you think it's a good product, you think people would be interested in purchasing your product, it's probably a relatively good idea to do a little research. If you decide, you know what, I think I'm going to write a book, you probably, depending on the subject matter of the aforementioned book, you would probably sit down and say, okay, who would want to read my book? Would it be enough people that would want to read what I have to say that would make it worthwhile? Would there be enough people that want to read my book where it could turn a profit? Would there be enough people that would be interested in what I have to say for me to take the time to write this book, take it to a publisher, have it edited, and then put out on the market to be sold? For the record, our country has in excess of 335 million people. That's not counting those that the Biden-Harris administration have allowed to walk unimpeded into our country and set up shop. 335 plus million people. So, the First Lady, Dr. Jill Biden, writes her biography, puts it out, finds a publisher that says, oh, great idea. I'm sure people would want to know. I mean, after all, you are the First Lady of the leader of the free world. Certainly, they would want to know what your life experience has been like. So they published it and put it out. Last week, in a nation of 335 plus million people, they sold 250 books. The First Lady, wife of the leader of the free world, in a country with 335 plus million people, and 250 bought her book. I wish I had the price of the book so that we could sit down and analyze, of the 250 copies that were sold, how much did that cost per book? It should tell you something. When the wife of the leader of the freaking free world writes her autobiography, and in the first week sells 250 copies. Now, I saw that. Yeah, I saw it. I would like to know, of all the people that told Dr. Jill Biden, this would be a great idea. This is a story America needs to hear. This is something that people want to know about. How many of them actually bought it? 250 copies in the first week. Of course, now, in retrospect, that's probably about the same number of people that agree with her husband's policies. Just saying, just a mere observation. I don't know who it was that talked her into writing this book. I have no idea who told her, well, this is a great idea. This is a great story. America needs to hear this. America wants to hear from you. Whoever those clowns were, they should be fired immediately. 250 copies. Insightful? Yeah. Telling? Certainly. Stupid? Without a doubt. Without a freaking doubt. I guess if I were in her shoes, conventional wisdom says if you are the First Lady of the United States of America, wife of the leader of the free world, and only 250 people want to read your story, maybe you might want to pull that book from the shelves. I'm just saying. Just saying. Because at the end of the day, whatever the story is, while it might be very revealing, very telling, the number of people apparently that don't care tells us a whole lot more. Just saying. Just saying. Bottom of the hour break. Let me get this done. When we come back, we got to talk, y'all, because this is an all-out assault on one of the most cherished freedoms in this country, free speech. Did you know that the Department of Homeland Security has now put together a misinformation bureau? The same people who have been giving us misinformation now want to be in charge of what's true and what's not. We got to talk. And we'll do it next when we continue today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Driver assistance technology comes standard on every Camry model as part of Toyota Safety Sense, setting the standard for safety every time you're on the road, no matter the destination. Save on your Camry today at Team Toyota, I-12 at O'Neill.
Hi, I'm Katie, Operation Manager here at Old School Barbecue. We're excited about all of the changes here at Old School, and we'd like to invite everyone to come out and enjoy some delicious barbecue at Old School prices. We feature brisket, chicken, ribs, sausage, and the Boss Hog pulled pork sandwich voted best deal in town. We also have live music Friday and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. 10655 Coursey Boulevard. We can't wait to see you.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with The Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
Caught spiders. Premier Pest Services.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. If you were in the news cycle in any form or fashion last week, you know how those on the left lost their ever-loving minds when Elon Musk announced that he was going to buy Twitter. It is so very telling that a man who wants to restore free speech to the, quote, public square has been demonized, villainized, castigated, you name it, all because his only interest in serving democracy is allowing all opinions to be heard. We knew that the left was not going to take this lying down because they know full well, without having complete and total control or near total control of the mainstream media and social media, their agenda is doomed. Information is what people need to make an informed decision. And when people are informed, particularly about what the left is trying to do in this country, they typically revolt. So the left, and we knew this was coming, was going to have to come up with some sort of way to curtail the free speech that was going to be restored, particularly to conservatives on Twitter. So last week, in almost just an off-the-cuff manner, the head of the Department of Homeland Security, Secretary Mayorkas, announced, oh, by the way, we've formed a disinformation board in the ranks of the Department of Homeland Security. Because as we all know, misinformation on the internet is a threat to the United States of America. If that weren't bad enough, this assault on free speech, if that weren't bad enough, they put in charge Nina Jankowicz, arguably the wackiest individual you could find to put in charge of an agency to regulate free speech. Keep in mind, y'all, and this shows you to what lengths the left will go to control your thought process. They want to control. How many times do I have to tell you? These folks want nothing more than to control every aspect of your life. What you can drive, what you can't drive, electric vehicles, what you can consume, what you can't consume. Well, y'all don't need to eat all that meat. They want to control every single aspect of your life. And now, we knew it wouldn't be long, they want to control what is the truth and what's not the truth. Now, this is the same group of people, y'all. The people that want to stop misinformation are the same people that fed us misinformation on Russiagate. These are the same people that fed us misinformation on the Steele dossier. These are the same people that fed us misinformation on the Hunter Biden laptop. The same people that fed us misinformation on, oh, well, we got all the Americans out of Afghanistan. These are the same people that fed us tons of misinformation on the problem at the border. There's no problem at our southern border. No, it's all just, it's a situation. And now, these people that have fed you misinformation ad nauseum, now they want to be in charge of telling you what is true and what's not. Listen, y'all. If we let this stand, you can pretty much kiss the country you know and love goodbye. How in God's name this guy figured he could start his own agency inside the Department of Homeland Security and become the Ministry of Truth is beyond me. But this should tell you in no uncertain terms exactly what they think of us. Since when have we lost so much faith in the American public that we don't think giving Americans the facts and letting them sort out truth from fiction on their own is something we no longer hold in high esteem? It is a part of the very foundation of our freedoms, our liberties, and the country we love. It is a part of America that whatever your opinion is, you have a right to have it, and more important, you have a right to express it. Now, once you express that opinion, then it's up to Americans to figure out, do I believe this or not? It's up to us as Americans to determine, how much truth is there to this? You do realize, do you not? And I cannot imagine any American that knows anything about what this country stands for. How could someone in charge of a federal agency think there's not going to be some major blowback on something as important as free speech? I am not one of those individuals, y'all, that subscribes to the red line in the sand. But this is it, y'all. This is it. When the government gets to decide what is truth and what is not, we got a problem, y'all. When the government is the one that decides whether or not you get to have an opinion and you get to share it, you can just about kiss this country goodbye. It is something that should scare the bejesus out of every freedom-loving American. And we've already seen to what extent social media particularly will go, and the mainstream media for that matter as well. We now know that the Hunter Biden laptop story is as real as the nose on your face. But Twitter would ban you if you said anything about it. not only would they deny you the right to have that opinion, but if you expressed it, then you go to Twitter jail. Really? And now you want to be in charge of telling me what the truth is? I think back to the skit from In Living Color. You remember that old sitcom, In Living Color? There was a clown, Homie the Clown, did a segment every week. And his famous catch line, Homie, don't play that. When you're talking about the government setting up a ministry of truth, Americans don't play that, y'all. This is yet another example of how the left will push and push and push until you push back. If Republicans allowed this to stand, then I think we all know whose side they're on. But to even think this way, not to mention, not only did you think about it, you've already put it all together, put it in place, and oh, by the way, let me tell y'all what we did last week. Congress, if you have any backbone at all, you will squash this like a bug. Not bugs, but a bug. Unreal. But this is what happens when Americans fall asleep at the switch. See, many of you are of the opinion that when you get in your car and you drive to the polling place and you cast your ballot, your job is done. Your job is just beginning. Your job as an American is to ride herd on those you elect to represent you. Because when you don't keep an eye on what they're doing, you wake up one day and the head of the Department of Homeland Security, who, by the way, has completely ignored the over 1 million people walking across our border and setting up shop in this country illegally, now wants to be the arbiter of what is true and what is not. In America, of all places. Better quit hitting that snooze bar, Americans. The truth is staring us in the face. Final break of today's show. We'll get her done, and when we do, we'll come back, put that big old pretty bow on this puppy, and wrap up today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats. The flavor says it all.
Treads & Care Tire Company announces its new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair with top-notch customer service. Treads & Care offers the convenience of shuttle service and pickup and delivery of your vehicle. You can also enjoy the comfortable customer area, complete with workstations, high-speed internet, and a complimentary coffee bar.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
Treads & Care, the tires you need and the service you want.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystonecountryClub.com.
Tremonti's has meat. Tremonti's has seafood. Tremonti's has much more. Tailgating and home gating platters. Huge wine and liquor selection. Beer and all the spices you need. Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats. Ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs. 20 flavors of sausage for the grill. Daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tremonti's.com.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With private healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Welcome back to the final segment of today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. Don't know how many of you are aware, but today is National Teacher Appreciation Day. It is an occupation that at one time in our country's history was held in the highest of esteem. I remember growing up as a young lad in Baton Rouge, and it was inevitable. Some adult that you would meet for the first time, probably with your parents, would ask, well, so-and-so, what do you want to be when you grow up? And typically, there were certain answers that applied across the board. Didn't matter if you were black, white, rich, poor, liberal, conservative. There were occupations that pretty much ran the gamut. And teachers fell into that category. I don't know how many of you have in your memory that teacher that was able to, quote, reach you, the one that made the light come on for you as far as learning is concerned. If you were a good student in school, typically you had good parents at home, but you also had encountered that teacher that knew how to directly connect with you. For me, the first that I remember was Mr. Ken Etheridge, my 6th grade humanities teacher at Kaiserslautern Elementary School in Kaiserslautern, Germany, on my dad's 3rd tour of duty overseas. He helped shape my worldview, and he opened my mind and broadened my horizons to the point where I was able to appreciate the viewpoint and the experiences of people of all races, creeds, and colors. And it is why, to this day, I'm comfortable talking with people of all persuasions. Mrs. Shirley Singleton, my high school English teacher, wonderful woman, had a way with all of her students. Mr. Mayu, my algebra teacher at Glen Oaks Middle School, tough as nails, walked around like a hammer, had a buzz cut. And everybody knew if you get Mr. Mayu to teach algebra, there's a box outside the door. Check your foolishness and put it in the box, because it ain't going to be allowed in the classroom. I'm sorry, Mrs. Singleton, I didn't give you all the heads up. It ain't going to be allowed in this class. Not Mr. Mayu's, oh no. But that discipline that he instilled in his students permeated every other aspect of our lives. I cannot thank enough, now deceased, Miss Gardia. People tell me all the time, man, you were born to be in radio. Well, believe it or not, the only formal training I had in radio, in broadcasting, was 2 years of high school radio broadcast experience. That's all. That's the only formal training I've ever had for broadcast. 2 years. And back then, all we had was, you remember the big square record player and the big square reel-to-reel and one big microphone. That's all we had. But additionally, we had a teacher that cared. We had a teacher that took the time out to recognize your strong suits and focus on them. We had teachers back then, and this is not to say we don't now, we had teachers back then that had a rapport with the parents of their students. You've heard me say this before, and if you're a baby boomer, you know I'm not lying. If you got in trouble at school, all it took was the threat of calling your parents. That's all it took. And you straightened up real quick and got on the straight and narrow. And to show you the difference between school then and school now, we have all these problems with gun violence. People using guns to carry out criminal acts. I cannot tell you, I can't even count the number of guns, long guns, 410s, 12 gauges, 30-30s, 30-06s, that were in the gun racks, in the pickup trucks, in the student parking lot at Glen Oaks Senior High School. Now keep in mind, my freshman year at Glen Oaks Senior was only the second year of integration in East Baton Rouge Parish. And as you might imagine, we had more than our fair share of fistfights at school. But never once did anybody even consider leaving the classroom, going out to the parking lot, retrieving a gun, and coming back and unleashing havoc on the school. That thought never crossed anybody's mind. No one was ever going to be found guilty of going out in the parking lot, breaking into somebody's truck or car, and stealing their weapon. Primarily because parents were parents, and the teachers picked up the slack. You were so desperately afraid of disappointing those teachers. You were so desperately afraid of how it would reflect on you and your family. Nowadays, it's a different story, y'all. It's a different story. But thank you, God, let me say publicly, thank you, God, for blessing me with two wonderful parents and putting some amazing public school teachers in my path. Without them, I can probably tell you where I'd be. Well, Clarence, how do you know that? You can't tell that. Yes, I can. All I have to do is look at all of those that grew up with me that didn't have that and look at where they are now. Pretty simple. Pretty simple. You know, as an American, there are lots of things that we should treasure. And one of them happens to be, and listen, y'all, I get it. I'm going to tell you right now up front, I get it. I understand. As an American, you have the right to worship whatever you want to or worship nothing at all. I get it. That's part of being an American. But for those of you that are members of the community of faith, to use a saying of one of my former pastors, I beseech ye, brethren, by the mercies of God, there is a family in Baton Rouge that needs our prayers. It is the family of an individual we've all come to know in the last 6 years after being nearly killed, severely wounded in fighting for our freedoms, our liberties, and our safety. It was announced this week that Nick Tullier is back in the hospital and is fighting for his life. Family members saying that he's in critical condition due to a worsening infection. And the family says that doctors have told them, quote, "We don't know how much time he has left." For those of you that don't remember, you're trying to figure out, Nick Tullier, Deputy Tullier, where do I know that name from? One of the officers severely injured when that, I made it through the whole show, so I'm not going to cuss now because it's a family show. The individual that came down from Kansas City and unleashed deadly violence on our law enforcement officers here in Baton Rouge. Nick Tullier has survived now for 6 years, and it has been a road that no human being should ever have to travel. It has been a road that his family has had their status, in my eyes, raised off the charts. To hang in there all this time with their beloved family member and do everything that is within their power for his survival. I get it. I understand that there are a whole lot of folks out there that don't want anything to do with that Jesus stuff. I get it. That's your right as an American. But if, like me, you are a member of the community of faith, please, y'all, I don't know the Tullier family personally, but I am willing to go out on a limb that they would not mind in any way, shape, or form if you were to keep Nick and his family in your thoughts and in your prayers. We owe this family, y'all. We owe them, because Nick Tullier is a member of that sacred fraternity that when stuff happens and all of us run away, they run to the danger. That's a special breed of person. And to find yourself fighting for your life, for doing nothing more than your job to protect the safety of the community in which you live, he deserves our prayers and, quite frankly, a hell of a lot more. So tonight, when you get ready to lay your head, if you choose to get on your knees, Deputy Nick Tullier hopefully will be one of the names that comes out of your mouth. That being said, my time's up, y'all, and I gotta go. But this day, maybe more so than any other, I give it to you. You know what? You're right. America, we ain't perfect. But for this old boy's money, it's the best there is, and God knows there's no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. Speaking of the good Lord, you realize he loves you, right? And I hope you know that I do too. Either way, there ain't a doggone thing you can do about either one. We'll see you later. God bless.